Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here's me today. I have a diamond in the rough I'd like you guys to meet. This here is Justin Harris. He is a defensive back out of Texas State. Nice to have you today, sir.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate the
So,
opportunity.
feel like a lot of people need to get to know you, man. I mean, have an interesting story, a lot of great, experience, some good versatility. Started your time at Cincy, and then obviously finished up at Texas State. But Justin, I'd rather you introduce yourself. So, have at it, my man.
Yes, sir. Name Justin Harris, obviously, from Dayton, Ohio. Went to Cincinnati from 2019 all the way up until 2023. Had a breakout year, my last year there, with around 40 tackles, six PBUs, and interception to go on my campaign to, cap off my last year at Cincinnati. And then I ended up transferring to Texas State, where we had a pretty good season this year. So,
Cool. So, let's rewind a little bit. And before you even get to Cincy, I have in my notes you attended Wayne High School in Dayton, Ohio. But
yes,
maybe
sir.
even before that, Justin, if you don't mind, let me know how long you've actually been playing this game of football, man. I mean, I know
Yes,
you've been
sir.
at it probably for a while.
Yes, sir. I've been playing, since I was 3 years old. My dad coached me all the way up until sixth grade. So, I've been playing the game since I was, yay high. I started, way earlier than I was supposed to. My dad had me running around with, 6 and 8 year olds, and I was only three. So, ever since then, I could tell, I really love the game. So, and then all the way up until high school, I was an offensive guy. My freshman year. We had a practice in fall camp dedicated towards offensive guys practicing defense, and I got the opportunity to play corner. And my corners coach was like, "Yeah, you're playing defense from now on." So
Well, that's kind of how it works sometimes, man. You grow as you're growing up. I mean, you get guys playing one side of the field,
yeah,
and sometimes coaches kind of reel you in and I don't know, find the spot for you that is
right.
what you really excel at doing. So cool. So again, as I said, attended Wayne High School, and along with some football, also did some track and field. Can you talk to me just a tad about you as a high school athlete way back in the day at Wayne?
Yes, sir. I was a three-sport athlete, football, basketball, and track. I played basketball all the way up until my sophomore year, and then I really started to focus on track because track was going to, benefit me for football as well. So, at track, I was a state qualifier all 4 years, freshman through senior year. My main event was the 110 hurdles. I had a PR of 13.9 in the 110 hurdles, and think I placed sixth my senior year. So as a team, I won twice indoor. I'm a back-to-back two-time state indoor champion from 2018 to 2019. So that was a
Nice.
pretty good career for my track career.
Nice that you have that. I mean, not a lot of guys play multiple sports in high school. I always encourage it if they can, and especially guys like
Yes, sir.
you, who are some of the skill player guys. It really helps. It really helps with speed. Hurdles is something else, man. I mean, you got to be able to hurdle over them
Yes, sir.
things that are like 3 feet off the ground or some junk like that.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
for you, again, like you said, 13.9 PR in the 110 hurdles is actually a really good number. People really, if you don't understand track, it's really fast. You're moving.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
um,
sir.
talk to me just a tag because I do want to move on to a lot of other things. But I mean, it is a little bit of a different mindset being a track guy versus being a football player. Can you
Yes,
walk
sir.
me through the mentality of that?
Yes, sir. Really just um track is really a mental sport more than anything. Not really anything physical about it. It's more of a mental thing. So when you are a track athlete, you have to tell your mind, I have to keep going, I have to keep going, I have to keep going because um, track is a very mental sport. Football is a little is different. So
Yeah, hurdles, you're like, I got 14 seconds, so many strides. Like you almost have to be in a rhythm.
Yeah,
Like
yes, sir.
it is a very serious thing where you if your head is not in the game, like you could
Oh, you're
seriously
falling.
hurt yourself.
Yes, sir. I fell at least 4 or 5 times throughout my whole high school career. Um, so it comes and goes with that type of event that you're putting yourself into. So
Cool. And again, playing football at Wayne State. Uh, Talk to me about your your overall football career and how things progressed as you were being recruited from high school to college.
yes, sir. All the way up until I'll say my freshman year, I actually played. I was one of the few that played all three freshman, JV and varsity my freshman year. How we did it in Ohio, there was like we did it by like quarters, so it was a certain amount of quarters that I could only play. So they used to kind of try to stretch my quarters out through Friday nights and then all the way through Saturday. So I established myself my freshman year going into my sophomore year. Then that's when I finally got to start at corner, and I had a pretty good year. And then going into my sophomore or junior year, that's when I started to receive notice from colleges, and my first offer was from the University of Cincinnati. So that was kind of why I leaned towards that offer. And my coaches that were recruiting me actually went to my high school, Marcus Freeman and Mike Mickens, that's currently coaching at Notre Dame. So they played a big part in my recruiting process on why I went to Cincinnati. I had a lot of other Power Five schools out there, and a lot of other opportunities to go to other schools. So they played a big part of why I went to Cincinnati. So
Yeah, when I was trying to research some of the recruiting there, it seemed as if a lot of local schools to
yes,
you,
sir.
had some interest, and it just seemed like it was meant to be for you to go to Cincy first. I mean, and if people haven't really been paying attention to college football, if you want to be a defensive back, going through Cincinnati isn't that bad of a gig.
At
Um,
all, it's not.
I mean, that is really one of the better schools that helps to develop, defensive backs.
Yes, sir.
And I know you had a lot of people during your time there that you played with that helped develop you.
Yes, sir.
Briefly, man, just kind of walk through some of the people that helped you there at Cincy.
Yes, sir. I went through three position coaches while I was there. My freshman year, I had Coach Mike Mickens, that's actually the corners coach at Notre Dame. He's played collegiate ball at Cincinnati as well, and he went to in the NFL, also in the NFL, and had a decent career. And I also got coached by Perry Eliano. He was a pretty good coach. He's currently at Bowling Green, coaching I believe the safeties now. And got coached for my last 2 years by Kerry Combs, and a lot of people know about Kerry Combs. He's a Cincinnati legend. He was the coach at Ohio State when they had that long stretch from I think 2015 all the way up until 19. Um, Coached a lot of first rounders like Marshawn Lattimore, Bradley Roby, Jeff Okuda. He coached a lot of those guys, so he brought a lot of that knowledge to Cincinnati and poured it onto us. So
Yeah, it sounds good that you have a lot of these people that help pour into you very early on and help develop you as a player.
yes, sir.
And so you were at Cincinnati from 2019 to 2023. And then,
Yes,
of
sir.
course, you transferred last season to Texas State, of course, with a lot of other people getting the extra year
Yes, sir.
because of the pandemic. So, walk me through your transfer to Texas State and why you ultimately ended up there.
Yes, sir. I actually watched their last bowl game when they played Rice, and it was one of the biggest televised bowl games, in the entire bowl season. So watching them, I was like, they're a pretty good, solid team, that's in the Sun Belt as well. And my former teammate, Drew Donnelly, I used to play with him at Cincinnati from the season of 2021 to 22. And he transferred to Texas State when we were going through, a coaching staff change when my head coach, Luke Fickle, to the job in Wisconsin. So he ended up transferring down to Texas State. And he told me, he was like, man, we can really use you down here. And he played a critical part in why I got down to Texas State as well.
Yeah, Texas State certainly an up and coming program. I mean, a team to be reckoned with. So, I mean, very interesting to see them,
Yes, yes, sir. Them
develop these,
next few years.
as things progress. Because I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
Sun Belt, Sun Belt used to be the conference that a
Yep.
lot of people would just, I don't know, either shun or just kind of brush
Yeah.
off. But
Mediocre.
I
Yep.
feel like the Sun Belt's really gotten better, man.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
it, it's just, yeah. I mean, it's probably it's a lot tougher than what people think. So
Right.
I'll just throw that.
A lot of people look down on us our first couple years. Well, my first couple years when I was playing at Cincinnati in an American conference, us, Memphis, Tulane, Tulsa, all the teams, East Carolina that were in the American conference were giving, Power Five teams, a pretty good run. So
Yeah. Let's talk about you as a prospect. I'm looking you as a. I introduced you as a defensive back, but that means different things to different people. So,
yes, sir.
tell me a little bit about your overall experience there in the secondary. When we look at your time at Cincinnati versus obviously what you've been able to do this past season for Texas State.
Yes, sir. When I was at Cincinnati, I primarily played corner. Um, I either played boundary or field, just depending on at the time and depth will be needed. I played with Ahmad Gardner and Kobe Bryant. They taught me a lot of things from, Ahmad Gardner being a boundary corner, a longer guy being in the boundary, knowing certain splits and, certain things to watch when you're on that side of the field playing corner. And as well as the field corner, it's a lot of space. And, Kobe's very, very talented and smart, guy that's in the NFL right now making plays. So, he taught me a lot on being a field corner. And my last year at Cincinnati, I ended up playing a little bit of our nickel spot and some of our third down packages. Knowing a lot of nickel spots, and knowing different coverages like cover two where you're a hash dropper or, cover three when you're a pure flat player. So, that taught me a lot. And when I went to Texas State, transferred to Texas State, they had me playing strictly nickel. It was our star position that we called it, but it was like a hybrid outside linebacker, nickel, whatever you want to call it. So, playing that position, it taught me really knowing how to know a defense and, giving our D line certain checks and certain stunts to where, I'm putting myself and them in a better position.
Yeah, I mean, as I was researching some of these things on PFF, saw obviously a lot of which that you had mentioned, playing the nickelback role, and then also playing outside corner,
So,
and then of course this past season playing a lot of the nickel star-ish role.
yes, sir.
There, playing safety. So we're certainly looking at a player who has a lot of versatility in the secondary,
Yes,
and
sir.
we could put you at a lot of different spots. Um, Perhaps maybe more so, to add to that, when we're looking at you as a prospect, what do you feel are your best attributes, that you bring to the table as a player?
Um, well, my first attribute I feel like I bring to the table is, aggression. When I have violent intents, anytime I get towards the ball, whether that's me guarding a receiver and the ball's in the air, violently, playing through his hands or trying to, make a play on the ball or like I'm aggressive, at the point of attack on a tackle, I run my feet plus two mentality, wrap, squeeze, so
Gotcha. So, I was thinking here for a second, oftentimes when people think of corners, they think of people that are, you know,
yep,
maybe
yep,
perhaps yapping a lot.
yeah, trash talkers,
um,
yeah, exactly.
uh, is that you, man? Like, do you bring the trash talk or what?
I do. I have a lot of trash talk in my game, but I know when to. So, majority of the game, I just kind of just let my play do its talking. So,
No, I hear you. And then the other thing, of course, is as a corner slash guy who works in the secondary, like,
yes,
bro,
sir.
you almost have to have like a short term memory,
I've got to.
because like you can't win them all.
Yes, sir.
What if anything would you add to that?
I would just say, man, don't worry about, if you do get a flag or a PI or, anything that, doesn't go your way. Like you said, and piggyback off what you said, man, it's ha being a corner or defensive back, you have to have short-term memory. So you can't really dwell on the last play. For example, my last season at Cincinnati, we were playing Pitt, and I had, I think, two PIs like back to back. People was like, I would have, kind of folded or, kind of been disappointed, but I didn't let that, I didn't let that, dwell on me. I just kept playing, and to end the game, I gave up zero catches on 9 targets. So
Yeah, usually when that happens, though, you get the coach in your ear, though. I mean,
right, yes sir,
you kind of have to expect it.
yes
Um,
sir,
but you got to take the good with the bad. That's the
yep,
way that this game is. That's the way life is, of course.
sir,
And obviously you did that, man. I mean, you were part of a great secondary there. You talked up a lot of people, man. I mean, playing alongside Sauce Gardner
sir,
means something. I mean, you got to be able to have stuff like that, rub off on you in your development.
sir,
We talked a lot about the guys there at Cincy, but I'm curious about the guys there at Texas State, man. I mean,
sir.
who are some of the
Some
guys
ballers.
up and coming in that program?
Yes, sir. Up and coming program in the back end in the defensive back room. Ryan Nolan. He was a JUCO guy out of Hutch. He was the leading interception guy throughout all of JUCO. So he showed his butt off this past year, playing free safety. He's very very smart, very talented. He knows the whole defense. He most of the time he gets everybody aligned, and he's a young guy. So he'll have a bright future. And as well as my other safety that played free safety as well, Bobby Crosby. He's another JUCO guy out of Florida. So both of them guys will hold the secondary down at Texas State.
Cool. Obviously, playing at two separate schools. I mean, I'm sure you've had, your fair share of great plays.
So
Talk to me about some of your best moments, man, from maybe give me one from each school if
got
you
you,
have that, man.
got you.
Talk me through some of your biggest highlights.
Yes, sir. My favorite highlight at Cincinnati was my freshman year. We played Central Florida at home. It was a big game. They were coming off a season where they thought they should have been in the college playoff, contention. So my play it was another. I got in on a third down play in the second quarter, and um, I think I was guarding. His last name was Mixon, number 16. I'm pretty sure he played receiver in the NFL for a few years. Um, he had ran a post route, and I had a big PBU on third down. So that was my favorite play of being at Cincinnati, and my favorite moment at Texas State. This past year, we played Troy at Troy, and um, they had ran a screen and I defeated two blocks and had a TFL for like a -2 yard. So that was my favorite play at Texas State.
Awesome. So certainly have great moments at both institutions, and we have now closed the book on you as a collegiate player. We're now looking at you
So
as an NFL prospect, and here recently participated in the Tropical Bowl scrimmage. And buddy, one of the coolest things is when you're referenced by somebody in the media. And my buddy Emery Hunt, had a lot of great things to say about you and your performance down there at the Tropical Bowl.
yes, sir.
Talk to me about it, man.
And it was a great experience. I thank everybody that accepted me into the bowl game. Playing with guys that are tremendous in what they do across the country. It was a life-changing experience. Just getting to compete and go to battle with those guys on practice days and even the scrimmage games. So it was a real honor, and I'm blessed to being able to play in the Tropical Bowl.
Yeah, the one thing that he was saying is during practice you had a few INTs against
Yes,
these
sir.
guys, and
I had, I had
talk me
two.
through it.
Yep. Yep. I had two interceptions on the first day, first practice. One of them happened on a slot fade. It got tipped in the air, and I was um, lucky enough to grab it out the air, take it back and run it back. And then the second one happened on a slant. I guess the receiver, I really pushed the receiver into like just a different spot, and the quarterback was thrown into a spot and not a man. And I was right there to pick it off and take it all the way back. So
So, I mean, when you have moments like these and, there are NFL scouts present, bro, that's exactly what you needed to do. You need to be able to
yes, sir.
turn some heads. Um, did you get a chance to talk to some people, or I mean, how things work for
Yes,
you
sir.
after you go out there and you ball in front of people, man?
Yes, sir. I had a few scouts, just coming up to me, asking my name and so forth. And I did the same. I did the same thing as well. I introduced myself to a lot of scouts that were on the sideline, watching it, dedicating their time to, seeing the talent that was out there that weekend.
So it's like you got the ball in your hand, you just had the INT, you walk over to
Yes,
the
sir.
guy and he's like, "My name is Justin Harris."
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir. That's how you out there feel like that's how you have to do it. So
that's how you have to do it, man. Awesome. Do you want to take a moment to meet the guy, Justin Harris, off the field? So let's go ahead and get that done, man. Talk to me a little bit about you, what you're into, anything that you're maybe perhaps interested in, maybe a fun fact.
yes, sir.
If you have like some special hidden talent or something, tell me about you for
Um, I feel like my hidden talent is bowling. For example, me and my former teammate, Ahmad Gardner, we used to go bowling every day during our off season. We would compete, to see, who would beat each other. We both have our own bowling ball. It used to be like 5 or 6 of us, all have our own bowling ball, go bowling. So I actually bowl on a regular. My highest score is a 216. So I feel like I'm pretty darn good at bowling. So if anybody wants to take their shot, they can come ask. So
definitely fair. I mean, you belong in some league
in the
somewhere. I mean, I
league.
think that's all right. And,
Yes, sir.
um, anything more that you want to share about yourself, man? I mean, what you got going on these days?
Really, just really just I'm really family oriented. So I'm always on the phone with my, siblings, my two brothers and sister, and also my mom and dad. My dad ended up just getting, an iPhone. So, I'm trying to get him locked in on the iPhone wave, and so is my sister. So, I'm always on the phone chatting with them, keeping them updated on what's going on. So that's kind of what I do on my free time, really. So,
Gotcha. I want to ask a couple questions, more or less just for fun. Just give me like, maybe one word, one sentence answer is basically what I'm
gotcha.
looking for. So, um, typical breakfast.
Oatmeal and bananas.
All right. How about favorite snack food?
I would say trail mix.
Trail mix. Okay,
Trail
not
mix.
not too bad. I mean, not much of a cheat, but it
Yeah,
hey, it works. Maybe a little
yeah.
salty.
A little salty with, M&Ms. I love M&Ms, so that's
All
that's one of
right.
my favorite candies too as well.
All right, that's cool. You have a favorite movie that you is more or less your go-to or what?
Yeah, I do. My all-time favorite movie is it's like kind of a breakdance movie. It's called You Got Served. Yeah,
All right, I know the
my
movie.
mom bought me that disc when I believe I was 6, and I just kept spamming it in our TV that had like the console where you could put a disc in, and eventually I was watching it so much I got it stuck in the TV. So
Do you do you fancy yourself a dancer?
oh yes, sir. I used to dance. I still kind of dance a little bit now. Not too much, because it's really not really my thing anymore. But when I was younger, yeah, I used to want to be a break dancer all the time. So
Okay. What about a guy with a microphone? Like you think you
uh,
could do that or no?
I sing from time to time. People tell me just to stick to my day job when I try to sing. So
All right, no, 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 that's fine. Is there maybe a TV show that you like to watch that you would recommend?
I would say Money Heist. I've probably watched that whole series on Netflix probably 3 times. So I would tell
Nice,
people to go
nice.
watch Money Heist.
Um, I know you got a lot of buddies who are in the NFL, but I mean,
Yes, sir.
maybe of some people that aren't already there.
Mhm.
Um, who is perhaps the celebrity that you love an opportunity to meet, whether it be actor, musician, or athlete? Who would that be for you?
Um, Me personally, I've been watching a lot of podcasts and kind of stuff on YouTube. I really want to be able to meet Marshawn Lynch, just because he's my favorite running back of all time. So, the kind of the character and funny guy, and great person he is. I kind of want to meet him and just chop it up with him. So,
Yeah, I mean, he seems chill. He seems
yeah,
like a good guy to hang with for sure.
yes,
Um,
sir,
uh, Definitely a different kind of athlete than you, though. I mean, you're a guy
yes,
who's
sir.
very versatile, a guy that plays in the secondary.
Mhm.
Obviously, man, trying to impress some scouts. Do want to go ahead and wrap up our time. It's been fun getting to know you, man. So,
Yes, sir.
go ahead and close us with your final thoughts and tell all these NFL teams what they need, what they would be getting if they took a chance on you. Go.
Yeah, guys, when you get me, you're getting a hard, dedicated athlete. Comes put his hard hat on every day. You're gonna get your very best from me from day in and day out, doing the right things on and off the field. You're gonna be getting a versatile guy that can play all positions in the backfield, back end, and as well as a special teams role player, and solidify himself as a special teams player as well. You guys are gonna be getting a steal out of the draft.
Awesome. Well, Justin, want to wish you all the best moving forward. All right, buddy.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Appreciate the opportunity as well.
Sure thing. Once again, I got with me Justin Harris, defensive back out of Texas State, formerly out of Cincy. Check this guy out.